Hey everyone, it's another early morning video here. Just wanted to get some things out, and I'll probably readdress some of these things in a video, another video. Just things that I've had on my mind. And it's really formulaic, and I think we all know the formulas that we've had to go through with the gang stalking harassment experience. And the idea of mobbing to establish triggers through neurolinguistic programming. Basically, it's really interesting because it's formulaic, as we've seen. Because they want to get the message across in a very covert way. How do you do this? You establish things, triggers, things that people will notice, while other people won't, therefore being extra covert, hard to prove, blah, 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 even though it's very formulaic and people know a lot of the stuff already know it. Anyways, they're the signs, the triggers. So anyways, what I've noticed over time, and this is how you get some people, not saying this is in every situation, this is how you get someone to seemingly snap while making them look crazy, or having them snap for no reason, going after multitudes of people for whatever reason, or non-reason, or craziness, or whatever. So anyways, this is one way you could do this. This is one way you could create this sort of killer or whatever. We're just putting this out here. So you establish these triggers, right? Again, even if the person doesn't snap, right? If they just seemingly thinks everyone's against them. Oh, well, they're just crazy, they're just paranoid. Well, how did this happen to begin with? What happens is, and we've all noticed, that they start with one or two major things that they do that we at least notice. The ones that you notice the most, unfortunately, if I had known what they were doing at the time, I wouldn't have paid so much attention and let them know that anyways. So they know what gets to you, so they use that, and then they layer it on top with something else. So they layer color with an audio sensation, and then they try to do it again, or if they see that something doesn't work, then they add it with another trigger. At the same time, I've seen them do that while they try to, oh, well, this isn't working. Well, I'll go to my one that I know works, so that you know, and it's not like, say, when they do this kind of questionable, you really know that they're doing it because of the oddness of their behavior, or something about it sticks out, something's out of place, or they're just kind of standing there, their energy doesn't match their, if you're, what the deal is if you're going through this. But yeah, like what I've seen is they keep adding things, like a certain color, a certain gesture, then they'll add another color or patterns are another one, and another gesture, and they'll keep trying to add colors, patterns, and more gestures to it, to the point where you're seeing it everywhere, and you already kind of see it with one thing, and then they try another and another and another. Another thing they like to do is, and as I've seen us before, try to say that, oh, you're crazy, or say the word certain things, and I'll go into this in another detail in another video. While I've not really shown any signs of it, of actually being crazy, but they want to do that. And again, like, sometimes they push you and you react a little bit. Sometimes it seems like out of nowhere, or they'll say you're paranoid, especially the ones that do it. Like, I've called the people that do it out at work, because I have to work with them. So I'm like, I know what you're doing. Oh, you're paranoid. I know what you're fucking doing. Like, I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. I'm not a moron. I graduated with honors from university. Not that that really means much, but I'm not a dumbass, okay? I can figure shit out. I'm obviously smarter than you, because obviously I'm a threat, okay? Obviously I must be, even though I'm not. I don't understand, but here we are. Anyways, it's just so fucking ridiculous, right? So there's that. Again, this is very like, okay, let's layer something else on, let's add something else, let's get this into their mind. And I've seen them do this lately with, I know what they're doing. But anyways, it's just like, it's really sad, the people that have to do this. Like, Like, again, like I said, they can't choose what they wear, and, like, you know, they have to have everything chosen for them. Like, they have to, or even, like, if they have, like, a certain thing they have to do. It's really sad. But anyway, there was some other things I wanted to talk about. So there's that, the layering of things to get something else in your head. So the next thing you know, you're seeing another pattern, another color, and another thing, and your attention is being drawn to that, and that, and that, and that, and they layer things on, to the point where I heard in the news, I don't know if it didn't seem to reach mainstream, I don't know. But I guess somewhere, someone opened up fire on a bus. And so, well, we don't know the motive. But it was interesting. So I'm like, I wonder if some of this stuff was going on, or this person saw all these things going on the bus, may or may not have been what was going on, and he decided to that's one theory that could have happened. So again, like, all this, like, community policing and this anti-terrorism stuff actually be creating these things actually happening. These people going postal at work, these workplace violence scenarios. So you see, like, with this workplace mobbing and the stuff that goes on at work, when they do this stuff, and then, oh, they can hide under their, like, oh, well, we weren't doing anything, even though they really were. They were sending, like, these really dark, encrypted, but obvious threats and veiled things and just insults. And it's just like, wow, you guys are evil. I mean, it's an evil thing. It really is. But yeah, that's why you got to take time and you got to meditate. You got to clear your mind, because your mind is going to be, especially if your job is around a lot of people, you know, it's going to be hard. You're going to be hit with this a lot, and it's really important that you take the time to slow down. Very important. You have to slow down. You have to meditate. And I know a meditation can be intimidating for some people. Just close your eyes, relax, focus on a point. I'll get into a video on that just for help, but this is something that you need to be able to do to really kind of slow things down, because slowing things down can really do a lot for you. You get, like, little messages, you can really feel your senses. You know when things are, you already know when things are off, but you really can tell when things are off, and it might actually save your life at some point. Like, your intuition might just be keener and get you out of certain situations. And it was funny, because I've been slowing my mind down, and I, just really been in a more meditative state. And I was walking as part of my way to work, and part of it's in, like, a city. And I remember going, and I'm at the crosswalk, and for some reason I'm told to, like, look up this skyscraper building, look up. And I just look up, and at the very top of this building is a camera. It's one of those, like, long cameras pointed down. I don't know why I had the feeling just to look up. Just follow it and look up, and at the very point was a camera. And I was like, oh wow. I mean, you look anywhere and there's cameras everywhere. There really is. But anyways, we know. And we know people want to take it further. But anyways. I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to cover. I can't stress how important it is to take the time to relax, the time to clear yourself. Self-love, self-care, really important. Taking time off for yourself, doing things for yourself, taking care of yourself, because a lot of people are in situations, a lot of us are in situations where we do feel alone. And if you're in that situation where you really have nobody, you have yourself, and turn to, like, some kind of spiritual something. Even if you're not a religious person, like I'm more of a spiritual person. Something. There's something there that you can tap into. Even if it's, like, self-help stuff. Something. Just find something. Get a hobby, something you enjoy doing, and do it, even if it's just a little bit. I can't stress taking out time for yourself. You need that. try not to dwell on this, but also too, you do need to engage a little bit of the community just so you don't feel alone, because that's when people actually do the most harm, is when they feel alone and they're confused. And luckily this is coming to a head. It's going to hit critical mass. The more people come out about this, it's going to hit critical mass, and there's nowhere to hide from that on. I mean, everyone's going to know. Everyone's going to know it exists. It's going to be, you can only call it crazy for so long until like pretty much everyone knows it's a legit deal. I mean, you can't hide forever. It's going to be out in the open. Trying to think of some other things I want to talk about. Oh yeah, the other day some people were talking in the break room, and someone brought up that someone from Homeland Security was in there, and they were talking to him and whatever, and they were going on this thing, and I'm thinking, yeah, yeah. So we got Homeland Security in the building. Not a surprise. Either that, or they want me to think that, or it is. I mean, yeah, it probably is. And I'm just like, whatever. I mean, I'm not a threat. You know, yeah, I'm not going to comply with stupid shit. Like, I'm not going to become a slave. I know that's really hard for some people. People in control want everyone to be in this state of fear and servitude and not have any life and be miserable. But, you know, now I'm going to try to help people get out of this stuff. I mean, this is disgusting. But yeah, that's what I've seen though. Going back to what I first started with, it's very formulaic. Very like, they're adding layers of new things. And if it was just the mind, how come my mind didn't do this before? Why is it just now? How, you know, my mind isn't creating whole groups of people doing the same thing. And yeah, I know sometimes when you have a large group of people, you'll have like similarities and repeats of certain things. Obviously, people aren't very creative. It's true sometimes, you know, the masses. But at the same time, to an extent, like at some point, like whole families like looking the same, like, and not even just family, just like clusters. That's another thing. It just clusters of like all in one group, you know, unless it's like some glitch, obviously glitch in the matrix or something, you know. It doesn't make sense. It's like, well, why is everyone wearing this over here and everyone wearing that over there, and there's no really rhyme or reason to it. It's not a uniform. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're going through it, you know what I'm saying. If you don't, then you're probably like, what is she talking about? And then again, like, I understand sometimes you get some of those things that happen organically, but not to this extent where it's obviously, especially when it's like in a workplace where it's obviously done and contrived, and you can tell, and with people doing certain things, that they have established a pattern. Again, like a few years ago, I didn't even know this existed, you know. So anyways, I just thought I'd talk about that, and I think I do want to hit home when I talk more about the neurolinguistic programming, which I will do in later videos, about this layering of certain things. Well, how do you get, once it's in your head, how do you get it out of your head? We also need to talk about detachment. Again, these are all going to be separate videos too, but we need to talk about detaching from your emotions. One of the most important things you can do in these situations when you're feeling overwhelmed is to detach from your emotions. Like, you don't have to be, you know, like, obviously you're not going to be emotional, but you do need to know how to detach, because being detached, because your emotions is what drives this. Emotions will drive you to do things that you regret later on. They do. And I'm not saying they're always a bad thing, and not to walk around like detached from your emotions, and because that can lead to bad things too. But you have to find a healthy way to detach and not let this get to you. And I've talked about cutting cords. I'm going to talk about that in another video again, because it is so important that you find a way to not let this get to you. And one way to do that is to detach, and it's easier for some people than others. There are ways. I think meditation can actually help with this as well. But anyways, Don't want this video to get too long. Again, it's just another morning video. I had a lot to talk about and flesh out, so I can look at this video and like create other videos as well based off of the stuff I'm talking about here, because it is so important. But yeah, I noticed this again, I've noticed this before, but they're trying to do it. They're trying to add more because I'm not reacting the way they want me to react, so they're trying to add more. These people are sick. I don't know what they're... I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what they're being told or what's going on. But it's sick. Anyways, so we're here for each other in this community. Let's try to be here for each other in ways, at least supportive, talk about things. If you're going through this, make some videos. Even if you don't have any videos up, just put some up there. Eventually someone will stumble across your video, even if it's just one person or two. But eventually, you know, we need to have this hit critical mass, because once it hits critical mass, then it will become known and something will have to be done. This is corruption at its finest. But anyways, so again, just wanted to get this out there. More topics, more videos, everything covered will also be covered in future videos. So anyways, hope y'all can stay strong, be really strong, take time out for yourself, find your center, get your focus down, meditate, connect spiritually, however you do that, and just stay strong, okay?